Welcome back to the Friday 13th YouTube channel, Metalheads. Today, you're going to be watching an interview with Engberg from the band Sorcerer, an epic doom metal band from Sweden. Now, the band are about to release their new album called Reign of the Reaper on the 27th of October, 2023. Enjoy the interview, folks. Leave some comments. Please share on social media. Thanks for watching. Greetings, Metalheads. Welcome to Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today, we're talking to Anders from Sorcerer. Welcome to Friday 13th again, Anders. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good.
Great. Thank you very much.
Good. How's the press day been for you today? Been busy doing lots of interviews?
Yeah. It's quite intense. More than I remember we had last time, actually. So there's a lot of interviews. I have a couple of three in tomorrow also, and then Thursday and Friday. So hopefully it will never end.
Okay. I mean, as you know, we've known each other for many years back in the days when you was with Twilight and Lion Share. So I mean, we got to meet for the first time last year, which was fantastic at Bloodstock.
Yeah, that was great.
So what memories do you have for Bloodstock before we talk about the new album?
It was quite warm, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you was on quite early as well.
I only have happy memories. It was a really nice arranged festival. Very nice people everywhere. Lots of press, which is really nice, I think. And we played the main stage, which was great, and a lot of people actually in the audience. So yeah, it was perfect for us, I think.
So when you did the signing session, what sort of comments were you getting from the audience that approached you and met you?
No, you only good. They love the stuff we do, and all good. Nobody came up and said we sucked. That was good.
I mean, it's good to have a little bit of doom metal in there. I mean, this year we had Candlemass headlining the Sophie Lancaster stage.
Yeah.
And their set was very blue, so you couldn't really see much of the band on stage.
Okay. I think they got that moody kind of red and blue and green. That's the only colors they use almost. Yeah, but we play in daylight. We're not vampires. We can go out and play during daylight.
So I mean, just before we talk about the new album, I mean, do you keep in touch with the guys from Lion Share or Twilight at all? Still, do you have any, like Finn or anybody? Do you have any contact with those guys?
Yeah, sure. I have not daily, but almost daily contact with Johan Kullberg, the drummer. I'm dating his cousin, so
okay.
I was best man at his wedding for 3 years ago, and I met his cousin there, and we've been together since. So that's a weird, yeah. So Johan, we have a lot of contact, and also with Pontus, the bass player, Engberg. Lars, I have no contact with him at all.
Okay, then. So, I mean, when you look back at your last album that you recorded, Illuminate of the Innocent, how successful was that album for you? Because that's when we did the last interview. Was it a successful album?
Yeah, despite the pandemic, I think it was a great success. We've been fortunate to have, press liking what we do also, which is helpful, when you want to reach out to maybe new listeners and stuff like that. So, I mean, despite the pandemic, it was really successful. We couldn't go out and promote it really, but we didn't want to sit on it for 2-3 years. So we didn't know how long the pandemic would last. So we just we decided along with our record label that we should put it out. And instead of sitting on it, write new material. That's what's coming out now.
Yeah, it's a great album cover. The last album, very good. I bet it looks great as a t-shirt.
Yeah, it's gonna look great, like with a huge backdrop also. So
yeah. I mean, not many people know that your band have been around for many years. They think you're pretty new, but you've been around since 1988, and you did your first. I think it was the first 2 demos were released on CD.
Yeah.
I have that. I actually have that CD.
Yeah, we were, when the CD came out, we got a question from, I think his name is John Paris from Solitude Nocturnus. He had a label called Brainticket, and he wanted to release a compilation of the 2 demo tapes. I mean, I was so young in 88, 89 when we recorded the first one. It was the first studio job I did, more or less, and in '92. Well, I had to grow some more beard, but yeah, it was still very young, and untested. But you shouldn't frown upon your legacy. I mean, it was what it was back then, and I think we did quite an impact, on the underground scene when we released those cassettes, as they were in the beginning. They were cassettes.
Oh yeah, I mean, when you did that album with them 2 demos as a CD, and then you went and joined Twilight.
Yeah.
Then you did the Twilight thing with Finn, didn't you?
Mm-hmm. Mm. Yeah, well, actually, it started. We disbanded Sorcerer in '92, '93 somewhere, and I released the first Lion Share in '94. So that was actually the first thing that happened. And during that period, I also recorded the Twilight sessions. So I did a demo first, and then the actual album came after, Eye for an Eye album. Yeah.
You also did an album after that, didn't you? Which I've got as like a mini album, like 5 or 6
Yeah, that's
songs.
the demo. That's the demos so that got released actually. So, yeah.
So I mean, when I listen to your band's music, Sorcerer, you come across between Trouble a little bit of Black Sabbath, obviously, because they're the Doom gods. But you're not necessarily Candlemass inspired, are you? Even though Candlemass are a massive Stockholm band, a Swedish band, but they're not. You don't really sound like them. You sound more like Memento Mori or Exenhaus. Do you kind of agree with me on that?
Yeah, I mean the first demos. I mean, Candlemass were the house gods by when we did the demos, and hence the logo we wanted to use Old English, and we were really suckers for Candlemass. And I played with Johan Landquist's kid brother in my band, so I knew Johan the singer from the very beginning. Anyhow. Yeah, so that was. I think that when we rejoined or reunited and made the 2015 album, we wanted to have a progression from the demos into what we more are now today. So we step by step have come to a sound where we feel that we are, and I don't really feel that we are a doom metal band anymore. We never were really, because if you listen to the first album, In the Shadow of the Inverted Cross, there are some heavy metal songs like Exercise the Demon and Gates of Hell and stuff like that, the more metal oriented music. So, but as I said before, there is a legacy, and you can't frown upon that because we have our roots in heavy doomy music. But I think it's more a mix of perhaps Rainbow, Black Sabbath, more melodic stuff than Candlemass ever did. Maybe on the 7 album with Wikström, perhaps on vocals,
right?
Was more melodic.
I mean, when I listen, what is it with doom metal in Sweden? It seems to be a big thing in Sweden. What's the connection? Why is it so popular in Sweden?
I don't know if it's popular, but there's a lot of bands playing, and we have a label band called Below.
Swedish I know those. I know them.
Yeah, they are really traditional and sound more like the traditional doom metal where Candlemass came from. But I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of other bands too in Sweden, other genres that being played. So it's a very band. What do you say? There's a lot of bands in Sweden.
I can imagine
in all kinds of genres, actually.
I mean, when I actually to some of your music, you kind of remind me of my other friends from Sweden, Tad Moröz. That kind of vibe. Do you kind of agree with me?
Yeah, some elements. We try to not to write music that is necessarily contemporary, but we lend stuff from contemporary music, like growling and stuff like that, and heavy riffing perhaps, and some progressive stuff, but we don't think about it. We don't do it purposely, we just write music that we want to hear, that we love.
So the last album, Lamenting of the Innocent, what are your favorite songs from that album?
I think the title track is very good, and Hammer Witches. I think it's there's plenty. I get this question a lot, and I think it's difficult to have a favorite, but there are some songs that are more better than the good ones. I don't know. It's hard to pick just one song, but I'm really proud of the 3 albums so far.
Okay, then and recently you've had a drum change, haven't you? Richard left the band. What was the reason for Richard leaving the band?
He wanted to pursue other challenges in his music life, and that was it, really. No hard feelings or anything. We just went our separate ways, and we moved on from that.
So who's replaced Richard then? Who's in the band now? Who have you got?
It's a guy called Stefan Norgren. He is a Stockholm-based drummer. He plays in a progressive band called The Seventh Wonder.
Oh no, those guys. I've got the albums.
Yeah. He's the drummer there for 2 last albums, I think. And when we started to look for a new drummer, when everything with Richard came to light, we wanted someone with experience that's been out and playing. We wanted someone who's in our age frame. Nobody is as old as I am, but in the near 50s, someone with mature, could fit. And we know Stefan we're friends. We met him several times, and also out and about. And when we asked him, he actually was a fanboy. So that was funny. He and his wife apparently listened to Sorcerer Friday night with a glass of wine. So that's cool. So he jumped on it when we asked him. He was delighted. So and he's a phenomenal drummer also. So it fits right in.
So just before we talk about the new album, how do you keep your voice in such great shape? Because you're a fantastic singer live. I've experienced it.
I have no idea.
What's the technique?
I'm the laziest of the lazy singers. I don't do anything really with my voice except when it's when it starts ramp up to a gig or something. I start to sing more. But I've always had a lot of projects going on, in studios and stuff like that. So that's been, my voice training also. But since we do very little live shows, I think, hopefully I will never be as Don Dokken, where my voice is totally gone before I quit. So hopefully it will stay with me for a few years more.
Okay then.
But I have no recipe or anything. It's just the way it is. I asked Ronnie James Dio when we toured with him in the Millennium Tour we did 23 years ago. My God, it's a long time ago. But anyway. So I asked him, what do you do to keep your voice in shape? And he said, I have a few kill cannies and a puff of smoke, and then I go. So I don't smoke, but I drink kill cannies. So maybe that's the thing then.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the new album then, which is coming out on the 27th of October, about a month's time from now, roughly. Reign of the Reaper. Who came up with the title?
The title actually came about when we got the cover. The thing is, we had an artist set up for doing the cover for this album. We want to change for each album, so there's a new artist coming up on next. But this guy, phenomenal artist, we couldn't really align on a time wise, so there was no time for him to go in and do a special thing for us. So we, in more or less panicked, went out and searched the internet, fantasy art sites and stuff like that. And was our manager that found this image. So it's actually not painted for us. It was already out there, but and we loved it, and said, oh, we got to find the owner of it and ask if we can use it. And it was after some searching and digging, it turned out he's Swedish. This guy lives in Stockholm, and Joakim Eriksson is a really talented video game artist and stuff. But this particular image looks like it's drawn with a pencil, but it's actually digital. It's not a painted artwork that it looks like. So it's made somehow with digital technique. Anyhow, so when we got hold of that and he said yes, then the title came about. So the title actually reflects what you see in the image. That's how it came about. So Reign of the Reaper with the wings and sucking the life out of that poor soldier on the ground there. That's that was it, really.
Kind of reminds me a little bit of Crusader Saxon meets Grim Reaper, the band. Kind of a combination of both of them.
Yeah.
You kind of agree with me on that? I mean, there's no...
Yeah,
the Grim Reaper's actually not got his big metal, it's what it chops people's heads. You don't even see it in the picture.
No, but I mean, you can... I don't know. There's, I mean, to make a cover today that is totally unique is impossible. So the people will find parallels or influences in whatever you do. I mean, and that's okay. I don't mind that,
So the artwork, because the artwork, when none of us seen the artwork, what's the booklet like inside for this? Does it have concepts from the main cover?
Yeah, it's been worked around by a guy called Janni Stefanovic. Has done the guy that did the EP covers, from the Reverence.
Yeah,
he's the guy that's done the booklet and everything. So it's you will recognize the coloring and the atmosphere of the cover. It shines through the whole package, so to speak.
So the song titles, who came up with the song titles? Do you write the lyrics yourself, Andy?
We have a process that we always used, and we're perhaps a strange band, but the first time we play a song that we recorded is after the album is done. So we never actually play the song live until it's finished, which is strange, perhaps. So we don't stand around in a rehearsal room and jam. We write demos with drum machines and stuff like that, and we throw it up on Dropbox. And on Dropbox, all ideas are collected in a folder. And me and our co-producer, Conny Wilén, we are the ones that make the melodies. So we download those, put it in a system, and then we start working with melodies. And the thing that comes first when we listen to a song is the title. So the title, this song needs to have a title. And when we find a title, we have a whole library of titles that we look through to get in the right mood. And sometimes we find like the Reign of the Reaper. I think it was Justin that cracked that one. But and then when we have the title, we start get the feeling of the song, so to speak. The title is supposed to fit with the music, if you know what I mean. So
yeah.
So and then we start to write melodies, and the last albums now, the last one and this one, we only write mock-up lyrics to find the right phrasing and stuff like that. But some of the mock-up lyrics are actually pretty good. So Justin just reworks the lyrics. So lyrics are written last. The last thing that happens when we record nowadays are the actual lyrics. So when the demo is done, the song is arranged, we can write the lyrics, and then we start the process of recording the actual album, starting with the actual drums, the real drums. So it's it's quite a process, and maybe hard to understand for people that you are aware of course, it's done. But I think people that in general think that a band go into a studio looking at each other and playing, and then an album comes out. But it's not that easy.
No, because it's all done at home now, when all files are sent to each other.
Exactly.
And you just...
Yeah, there's no budgets anymore to do a big, at least for band in our size, to do big recordings. Go to an expensive studio and record everything there. So the drums are important to do in a proper studio. So there's the biggest chunk of the money goes to that and mixing. But the rest we can do at home. I have a studio in my apartment, and the guys have in theirs. So. And we all just use Dropbox to, change ideas and work around the songs. So we've been doing this for a very long time, everyone. So we're very experienced people. We know exactly what we want. So yeah.
Okay, so the album was recorded at several studios. We had Solna Studios in Stockholm with Simon Johansson. Was where it was soil work.
That was the drumming, yeah.
Yeah, and also Mike Wee. Mike Wee was involved with that, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he's what do you say? He's a second-hand engineer there. So Simon is the prime engineer, and Mike is the second-hand.
So I mean, the album, the artwork was done by Johnny, wasn't it? Jovi, is it Johnny?
Johnny, the art, the booklet is made by him, but the actual artwork is made by a guy called Joakim Eriksson.
Okay, so the songs, how long did it take to record this album, and Anders? How long did it take for you to get the album together?
I mean, it's already 6 months old. We actually finished it, New Year's something. So it's more or less 8 months old. It takes about, from start writing the songs, I don't know how long the players have had the ideas, but from they start to deliver demos, I would guess a year more or less to finish product. And we did like 15 songs and picked 8 of them. So this is quite a process.
So the other songs that you're not picked, are they ready for the next album?
Yeah, we keep every song, but we not necessarily, because we've listened through leftovers from Lamenting of the Innocent, and it tends to be some parts you might reuse, but it tends to be that the new stuff is the stuff that you want to do. Somehow it gets old and forgotten, and we can do that, so most often we write new stuff, and we save the ones that doesn't get picked, and see if there is a chance for them next time.
Okay, so the songs.
Maybe we will release a unreleased demo album or something in the future. I don't know what we will do with all the rest of the songs.
Okay, so briefly, Anders, what's the song? Morning Star, I believe, is about Lucifer's fall.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't written the lyric really, but we try to keep the lyrics somewhat abstract, So we don't. There's not like this boy goes through that door, falls, and stabs himself with a sword. End of story. It's more abstract kind of stuff. So I would say that Morning Star is about Lucifer's fall, but also the fight between good and evil, and we're all into that kind of fantasy, horror, mystique kind of themes. We like to write about good and evil and death and destruction and mystery.
You kind of sound a bit like Ronnie James Dio. That's the kind of thing he wrote about, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we draw from that and Black Sabbath, of course, Tony Martin era and Rainbow and whatnot, But we're not a band that writes political stuff or religious stuff in that content, but in that context. But I'm fascinated by religion and how they project good and evil, put them towards each other, and the struggle between good and evil. I think that's interesting.
Okay, so the sign, Reign of the Reaper. What was that? What's that about? Just about, like you said earlier on, about the album cover. Is that what it's all about?
Yeah, exactly. Reign of the Reaper is, the Reaper is he good or is he bad? Are you going to heaven or are you going to hell? Because he has wings, but you also know that he is death. So, I mean, when are you going to hell or are you going to heaven? Nobody knows.
Okay, and the next song, Thy Kingdom Will Come.
Well, that's more like what could I compare with? That's more like a battle scene where they charging towards the castle and they want to take it over. So it's more like an epic battle story.
Okay, and you've got
Yeah.
Eternal Sleep.
Eternal Sleep is about a guy that's dying actually. So you can hear his heartbeat in the beginning of the song, and then he ponders upon death. Really, his last breaths are near.
Okay.
So yeah.
And the next song, Curse the Medusa. If I'm right in saying, we're looking at your biography, it's something to do with Egypt or some Egyptian Arabic. Is that correct?
It's Greek mythology. I don't know if you know, but the Medusa
with the snake heads, yeah.
Yeah. She's a gorgon, it's called. And it's a kind of a mythological figure from the Greek mythology. So it's about when you looked into her eyes, you froze and became stone. That was a curse she had set upon her from Zeus, one of the Greek gods. So she was really beautiful, but as soon as a man looked at her, they turned to stone. So that's what the song is about.
I mean, I was reading your biography today, and it said that Justin reckons it's got a little bit of Mediterranean Arabic sound to it. That's what I meant. Is that correct?
Yeah. We try to. That's what I'm trying to explain when we pick the titles for the songs. Also, that it has to. We couldn't sing about Vikings when you have that Oriental kind of. It doesn't mix, So we need to. You need to get the whole feeling of the song into the lyrics and the words and the title and everything. So
unveiling blasphemy.
Yeah,
is that a Swedish history sort of thing?
No, I know what you're getting at, because there's some kind of folk music kind of melody in that song, but no, it's also a very abstract lyric about unveiling the I can't say the devil's worshippers, but something in that direction, So as I said, I haven't written all the lyrics, so I'm not into exactly what they're about and how they are.
Right then. So if you had to pick your favorite songs within your album, which ones would you say is your favorites so far?
A Morning Star, definitely, and I would say Eternal Idol, and the last song is really good also. Break of Dawn, I think it's called.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So how do you see this album as a progression from the previous album?
Yeah, we try to do something different every time we do an album. We try to progress somehow, and this time we wanted to do another concept of release. We wanted to do an old school release with a maximum of 50 minutes music, a single vinyl, not a double vinyl. We've done that 3 times now, and we wanted to shorten it down to be able to release it the old school way. So we did that, and we also wanted to have a more diverse sound over the whole album. So there's a lot of dynamics in the songs. 8 songs that are very different. There are more drums. There are some blast drums even on some tracks, and also some growling that we used on the last album also. So I think that was the purpose. But when we write music, we write music as we always done. So some of the songs actually we had to shorten to make it fit the format, so to speak. So that was the plan this time.
Okay, so you've done a couple of videos so far, promotional videos. Are you doing any more promotional videos for this album?
It's going to be one for the next single, which will be Reign of the Reaper. And there will be a third one on the release day of the album. But that's more like a visualizer kind of thing, not with us in it. We did 9 videos the last album.
Wow.
So, yeah, one for each song. But so this time we felt that, 2 real videos and 1 visualizer, that's enough. This time around, so we don't want to repeat ourselves every time either. We want to try and stay on our toes and do something that will, hopefully be different every time.
Right, I know a lot of people like myself have got the album, but we're not reviewing it at the minute because it's too early. What sort of have your friends been saying about the album? Obviously, the press haven't told you anything yet. What sort of reaction you get?
Yeah, we got two. We actually got 2 reviews, and they were both 10 out of 10. So that's pretty cool. Everyone we played it to, even my girlfriend who aren't a heavy metal girl, she likes the song. So I think that I'm very excited about it. I think it's going to be successful. And I know Morningstar is already up to over 40,000 views on YouTube, which is great, after a week. So it's looking good.
So when we're going to see the band tour, and you've got any? Obviously, it's going to be next year now, isn't it? With the album coming out so late.
We have so far we have 5 shows planned, booked. And we just changed to We Live, a new booker. So hopefully they will help us to get out there more. So we have the release show on the 17th of November in Hammer of Doom in Germany, which we headline. That will be really cool. And then we go to Poland and play, and we have Germany 2 shows, and also just now I heard we have a show in Malmö in the south of Sweden in the spring. All of these are spring, early next year. And hopefully we will get into some of the bigger festivals. I'm hoping for Bloodstock again. Let's see if that happens. I don't know. That would be great. And UK, we missed out on one. Got cancelled in May. We were supposed to play at this Manor Fest, and it got cancelled.
Yeah,
so
I remember that. Yeah,
that was too bad. That was too bad. That would have been great. It was a lot of Swedish bands actually. Soilwork, Evergrey, Sorcerer, all those great bands.
So hopefully next.
Yeah. So we're planning on doing. We're not a touring band really, but we're planning on doing like 15 to 20, 25 shows perhaps during a year. That's enough for us old farts.
Right, Anders, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview. Do you have anything to say to the people watching this? And just before we go, what's your top 10 favorite albums?
Top 10?
Yeah.
Damn, I should have prepared me for this. Okay, let's see. Operation Mindcrime, Mob Rules, Van Halen, first Van Halen, Defenders of the Faith, Innocence is No Excuse with Saxon. That's 5. Jesus. Rock and Roll, Long Live Rock and Roll, Rainbow, Headless Cross, Black Sabbath. 7 is enough.
That'll do. I'm going to put you on the spot. So you did,
Blue
you
Murder,
did well.
Blue Murder. The first album also. It's one of my favorites.
Well,
yeah, there's a lot of great bands out there.
I'd like to thank you. Like I say,
thank you.
Have you got anything to say to the people watching this on YouTube?
Yes, of course. I would love you to. I would love for you to enjoy the album, of course, and hopefully we see some of you out there when we play and promote the album. We are very fortunate to have great fans as you, and hopefully some new fans, of course.
Take care, Anders. Great speaking to you, my friend.
Bye-bye.
Cheers, Anders. Bye.